Hello, teachers. Ben Prather here from NTech. Today we're going to talk about how to create rubrics in Google Classroom. So first thing to know is that Google Classroom does attach a rubric to the assignment. You wouldn't want to be attaching just a rubric. I think, in fact, there isn't really a way to. It attaches to the assignment itself and becomes a rubric for the whole assignment. I'll show you what I mean. So the first thing we need to do is create that assignment. Now, through the magic of computers, I'm going to populate my title, instructions, and add my supplementary materials now. All right, so when you've done all of the normal steps that you would for an assignment, such as adding supplementary materials, links out to any manipulatives or anything students need, making a copy for each student, setting the due date, and the topic, next, what you want to do is when you're ready, you want to add in your rubric. So it's right here. You have three options. You can create a rubric from scratch, which is what we're going to go over in this video. There'll also be another video to show you how to reuse previous created rubrics and also import rubrics from sheets, including what formatting you need to be able to have that. So let's create our rubric here. So first you'll notice I do have the ability to delete this rubric from my assignment. I also have the ability to save at any time. I have the ability to turn off and on scoring. If you would like an unscored rubric, it will still have a level such as exemplary proficient, progressing, or beginning, but it would just turn off the points. Just know that that is an option. You can also change the order, so it would be the highest points on the left here and the lowest points on the right now. I could also change it the other way around. I'll show you what that means in 1 second. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our criterion. So criterion are those things that you're assessing for. So if it was in our math rubric here, the first one we're going to be looking at is, can the student describe equivalent fraction? And then we're going to say, what does that mean? What does describing equivalent fractions look like? So here's just a little description of that I have ready to go. Now, please remember that you shouldn't necessarily be creating these rubrics up on the spot. I am pulling from a rubric that I normally use and attaching it, just making it digital in Google for this assignment so that students can get graded and see their grade through Google live on here. So do know that please you're pulling from previously used rubric or a rubric that you are wanting to use. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to get our 4 levels. So I'm going to do this analogously with our Power Teacher Pro reporting and kind of the levels that I meant Catholic uses to report. And so I'm going to have 4 different levels. So you can add new levels in either spot by adding here. Now, see, you can add it in the middle if you needed to, but there's my 4. First one's going to be worth 1, 2, 3, and 4 points. So my 4 points is going to be my, oops, not 5. 4 points is going to be my exemplary. So you can adjust the points as you want, just make sure it does make sense and follow sequentially. Then we have proficient, progressing, and beginning. Okay, so we have our criterion, we have our different levels as well as what points are worth. Next is we add a description in each level. Again, through the magic of computers, I'm going to pause and fill this out. All right, I've got my description for each level of my criteria. So at the exemplary level, they provide an in-depth explanation of equivalent fractions using precise mathematical language and symbols versus thorough explanation and specific instead of precise. So just make sure that you're putting the criteria in order. One thing I do want to point out is it did switch. Remember, I have it descending, so from the highest to the lowest going that way. As soon as I clicked off to start copying and pasting, it rearranged according to level. I can switch that at any time by changing the ascending and descending order through that. Now what we want to do is we want to add more criterion. Perhaps you are doing a rubric looking at 1 criteria, but we usually have more than 1. So I'm going to go in and add a new criterion here at the bottom. And again, it's going to go with the same thing. I'm going to add the title, a brief descriptions criteria. I'm going to choose my 4 levels in this case and give them points. I'm going to give them level titles and add in my description, a complete repeat of what we did up here. All right, so once you've got all of your criterion with the different points and levels and descriptions in, you're ready to save. Please do know that you can come back at any time to edit this rubric. So I'm going to save here. What happens is the rubric is added right here. I can again remove it by clicking an X there. Note you can only add one rubric per assignment. Well, now I can assign it. My rubric will be attached to student work. We're going to go over in the student view in our next video as well when we talk about reusing. But do know that in our creation here in our instructions, we do have the rubric to preview or edit at any time. And also when we go through student work, again, I'm going to show you that view there. But right here is where rubric lives. And that's how to create a rubric for Google Classroom assignment.